This is Bob Williamson with Cetane Associates on behalf of PMP, here to share information with you to help you eventually perhaps sell your business or grow your business. We offer the help at Cetane Associates. Thank you for your time today. What can a business owner do a few years before they're ready to sell their business? I get asked that question quite a bit. I'm going to compare this to when you go to sell your home. There's things you can do that are reasonably economical that are going to make it more attractive. Kind of like painting your house versus putting an addition on your house. Painting your house is going to sell it better and not cost a fortune. So the things I would tell an owner a year or two away would be to make sure you're raising your prices routinely. Make sure things like having all your customer emails on file so you have those ahead of time, because that's going to help the new buyer. Don't bother buying any brand new vehicles right now if you're that close, because they're probably going to lose value unless you really need them. Keep your staffing at high levels. Don't let your staffing run down where when you go to sell, you're 4 people understaffed, because most buyers really like to know you have a complete set staff. They understand you're going to have turnover, but to have staff in place is a big deal. Start documenting your SOP, your standard operating procedure, especially on larger jobs. If you do a complicated account, take the time to sit down and write out what's involved in that account so that when the new owner gets it, they have that in writing. That's going to help everybody and even yourself. Clean your warehouse out. If you have stuff in your warehouse in a back corner that's junk, old inventory, start now to get rid of it, because it's going to be like when you go to move, the less you have that isn't necessary, the better off you're going to be when you go to sell. And then start running reports routinely. Maybe you don't run reports often enough, your routine sales reports, your financials. You want to be doing things and learn how to do them for a couple reasons. When you go to sell, you're going to need those reports, and it won't be a big event for you to run them. And secondly, you're going to get good at running the reports and know exactly what they generate. Other questions along the same line is what a seller can do to increase the value of their business. First, I'm going to say raise price and raise it routinely. Not a lot every year, but a little bit each year is always going to help, because in the pest business, your highest expense is labor, and you're giving them probably raises every year. So you kind of have to correlate your price increase to whatever wages you're able to give. Make sure you have customer data available so you know how to get it, because you're going to need that. You're not going to want to give them the names and addresses, but the buyers are going to want to know where your customers are, what zip codes they're in, what towns they're in. So that's going to help you a lot when you go to sell. So start having that information ready. Another question I get is, how long does it take to sell my business? It takes us 4 to 5 months to do it correctly. And that's getting all the information ready, navigating, getting the information prepared for the potential buyers, navigating the offers, navigating the asset purchase agreement or whatever kind of legalese you're going to do. If you want to do it by the end of the year and it's August now, I would start now to have it done by the end of the year in an example. The biggest delays in doing that for us are getting your information is number one. You don't have it ready. So that's why learning how to get the information ahead of time is going to help. And then legal can always be a wild card. So maybe knowing who your attorney might be would be helpful. And you'd certainly want to have an attorney that has some experience in mergers and acquisitions. Another one is, what is the best time to sell my business? So that's 75% based, in my opinion, or my mind, on yourself personally. When are you ready and what are your plans? That's what's going to base it the highest. I will say that more people wait too long than go too early. I get a lot of people that probably should have tried to sell several years ago, primarily because they lost energy to grow the business and they were starting to go the other way. And they just kind of lost what it takes to really invest their whole lives into the business. So don't let that happen. If you're not engaged and you're disengaging, it may be time to say, you know what, I better get out before I let this thing slip too much. You're not going to time the market. The market goes up and down. It varies from town to town. It varies every day, but it's really based on you and what's comfortable for you. And I always tell people you need a plan. What are you going to do after you sell your business? And if you don't have that plan in place, you need to have that plan to sell. And then another kind of question is, what can make a pest business hard to sell? If your customer pricing is too low, not many people are going to want to inherit a pricing schedule that might be half of what they charge. So please be careful that if you want to sell 2 or 3 years from now, start raising price and do it every year in small increments. Because if you fall behind, it's going to make it very challenging to sell your business. And then trying on your own ad hoc, where you just go to a couple of people that you think you know and say, I think I want to sell. Just to remember, you only get one shot to do this. I would be careful to think you can do it yourself, unless perhaps you've done it before. And if you have a buddy that wants to buy you, I can promise you that if you get other people involved, you're probably going to get different, better offers and more opportunities. You can always choose to sell it to your original person, but I think you owe yourself the chance to at least explore, because this is typically for most people, this is their life work. This is Bob Williamson with Cetane Associates on behalf of PMP. Thank you for your time today.